Hey guys. I hope the light is kind of dark in here. I had the big lights on, but it gave such a glare. So I'm sorry if it's too dark. Yeah, it's kind of dark, but I'm sorry about that. So anyway, hi everyone. It's Ashante from Tidbits for Women. And also, you guys can also, I have a t-shirt line. It's an inspirational Christian, I like to say believer. It's a believer's Christian t-shirt line. It's called From Him Through Me Tees. So if you guys get a chance, you can check that out. FromHimThroughMeTees.com. And you'll see stuff on my page every now and then. I have a Facebook page for that too. But anyway, so besides Tidbits for Women, the book, we also have a blog and we have our Facebook page. And Tamara Newton is the other person, that's the other half of Tidbits for Women. And she, so she helps with a lot of the articles and things like that. She hasn't gone live yet, but maybe one day. So anyway, for Tidbits for Women, this month, we have been talking about abuse because it's something that it's something that's I've seen around since I've been little, and then I've just seen it in so many different relationships personally that I've been in, even friendships, family members around me. And when I say abuse, I'm talking about all forms of it, not just hitting. And so tonight is the third part of the series. And then next week could be the last part for the month. So every week I've been talking about different topics in relation to abuse. And in the first week, we talked about like the characteristics of like what an abused person, like what are some of their characteristics? Because what I've noticed is a lot of people we don't talk about this stuff like deep enough at all. And like I said, I grew up in a household where it was hush hush, so you're not supposed to talk about things. And unfortunately, a lot of times, a lot of families are like that, especially old school, like whatever goes on in the house stays in the house type of mentality. So, you don't talk about these things. You don't talk about the characteristics. People are like, what? And then the second week, we talked about the characteristics of an abuser. And what we found between both of them, they are both hurt people. I mean, literally. And then this week, I just want to touch on, like, what can people do that are friends or close to an abused person or an abuser? Because like I said, they are both hurt people, so they both need help. And a lot of times we kind of like look at the, we look at the abused person and we're like, oh, we really want to help them, but we fail to realize that the abuser, they need some help too. Like, they're not healthy either. So I really want to talk about that, and I just want to just recap a couple things from last week, and I just want to talk about the types of abuse. So like I said, we're just so used to the physical abuse or sexual abuse that we forget about the other types of abuse, which would be emotional and verbal abuse, or financial abuse, digital abuse, stalking. And then just doing some research today, I came across spiritual abuse. I didn't even think about that. So those are different types of abuses, and you can find them in more than just romantic relationships. So people really need to know that, like, this can happen at a friendship level or your family member. So it's just not my man or my girlfriend. You know what I mean? It's not just romantic relationships. So we just always need to keep that in mind. And then, so I just want to recap the types of abuses. And then, hey T, hey Alicia. So, okay. Where do I begin with this? Okay. So it's going to be kind of two-sided to this, right? Because I've been on both sides of this. So let's say I'm the person that knows somebody that's been in an abusive relationship. Like, let's take it from that angle right there. Or they're in a situation right now, right? Now, there's a couple things. A lot of times people that are in abusive relationships don't talk about it. They don't talk about it. Then you have those that will talk about it, okay? So let's say, for example, I'm the one that my friend is telling me things, or I see things, like I absolutely know something's up. Or I see the way whoever is talking to her crazy, whatever it is. Or she comes to me like, oh man, I'm just tired of this person, blah, 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 right? So they're letting me know, or I've seen that they're in an abusive type situation, right? Now me, naturally, just being me, and probably you being you, you're going to feel some kind of way, especially if it's somebody that you care about. Okay? So those that are expressing these feelings and saying things about whoever it is that's hurting them, you have got to understand that whoever you're talking to, if they really care about you, they're going to feel some kind of way about the situation and that person. They just are. It's a natural response to someone who's hurting you, or hurting your friend, or hurting your cousin or your sister or your brother, whoever it is. That's going to be a natural response, right? Now I need to talk about what my response truly needs to be. Like, I am going to feel some kind of way, especially if you're hearing stuff over and over and over again. That's painting a picture of that person. And you know how they say there's like three sides of a story? There's your side, the other person's side, and then the truth somewhere wraps up in there. Okay, but you have to understand that when you're constantly talking about somebody negatively, that picture is getting painted in that person's head that's receiving that information. Okay? And then when you continuously go back into that situation, it's going to make your friend or whoever it is feel some kind of way. It just is. So now how can we respond, right? Without taking it personal, which is very hard because you care about this person. So here's some things I just kind of researched and looked up. You have to be supportive. You have to be supportive no matter what, almost. Unless it's becoming effective, like, unless it's hurting, it starts hurting you. If it starts affecting the way, sometimes, okay, let me get everything together. There's so much to talk about. Okay. Sometimes people's drama can mess you up, especially if you're not spiritually sound and you don't have anywhere to pour out that stuff. Sometimes people pour so much on you and you don't have anyone to pour out on. That stuff will get on you. It just will. So, if you find yourself getting in that type of situation, then you have to be healthy enough to be like, you know what? I appreciate you. I love you. I want the best for you. But I just have to just kind of, you have to be supportive from back here a little bit, if that makes any sense. Because you definitely don't want to damage yourself in the process of trying to support somebody else, okay? So you really have to be in a healthy space to do these things. Okay, so be supportive. So listen to them. Let her know that you're there, or him. I keep saying her. Abuse goes across the board for men and women. So let them know that you're there for them. If they need something, if they need somebody to talk to, be that ear. Be whatever it is, okay? I have so many, take time to listen to them. People need somebody to talk to, and especially if they're willing to talk, because many times people are not trying to really let you know what's going on. And I'm telling you, if you're in a situation, that's one of the most unhealthy things to do because it causes isolation, which we talked about before. the divide and conquer type of mentality that an abuser will have. If they can get you isolated, then they kind of got you. You know what I mean? So be that listening ear for them. And try not to, this is going to be hard. Try not to tell them what to do. And this is where the title of my, of this video comes from. It says, when the student is ready to learn, the teacher will appear. Okay, so I'm going to save everybody some heart right here. People in any situation, it doesn't just have to be abusive, whatever it is. They have to be ready to receive things. That means they have to be ready to receive a word. They have to be able to receive feedback. They have to be able to receive constructive criticism. They have to be able to receive things. Even compliments, people have to be ready to receive. Like, you have to be able to receive that. So, everybody's not ready. And that's going to be hard because you looking from the outside in, you're like, why are you putting up with this mess? What is wrong with you? Like one time, so, you know, my history, you know, I saw my mom and dad have a real shaky, messed up, jacked up relationship, you know, like he was very verbally abusive, X, Y, and Z, right? So one day I'm like, Mom, because I had gotten old enough and I'm like, why do you put up with that? Why do you let him talk to you like that? Like, you can't. It almost will make the person feel worse about themselves. And that's something that you're not trying to do. And that kind of rolls over into another thing that you can do is point out their strengths, point out their talents, their gifts, point out the things that have been placed inside of them that is like probably aligned with their purpose, because that's how it works. Point out those things. Let them redirect all that negativity into themselves to see themselves as they were created to be. I mean, they don't know that because their self-esteem's been beat up. Okay? So when you say, man, why don't you just, man, you need to do this. They are looking at themselves again like, oh man, I'm a failure. They start going into this process of these self-talking, these thoughts in their mind that it's like they're going to beat themselves up more. You know what I'm saying? That's going to that's going to, make them feel worse about themselves. And that is so hard. I feel like that is one of the hardest things to do when you're trying to support somebody in an abusive relationship, is telling them what to do. And you can't. You've got to be patient, and they are going to have to find it within themselves, which, of course, I'm going to hit on the spiritual tip on all this next week. But really, it comes down to them having a revelation about who they truly are and what their worth is. And until they know that, your words, you can plant seeds for sure. But as far as telling them what to do, it's not gonna help. It just isn't. And I hate to say that, because I have seen people, friends, and I'm sure you don't care if I talk about this, that have gone through things. And I'm not even just talking about abuse. It could be mental health. It could be financial stuff, whatever it is, right? You're watching them go down the rabbit hole. Like, you're the friend sitting here. And that's my best, example I can give. You're watching your friends, someone you love, your sister, your brother, your cousin, your niece, your nephew, whoever it is. Sometimes you're watching yourself go down the hole too. That's a whole nother conversation. So you're watching that person go down deep and further into the black hole, right? And it's so hard not to be like, no, stop. What are you doing? It's so hard. But like I said, when the student is ready, the teacher will appear. If you're not ready for that, you're just not ready. And so as the friend or the sister or the brother that's on the other side of that, you just have to love them until they get to where they need to be, literally. And, I talked about the characteristics of true love: being patient, being kind, no record of wrongdoing. You can't be like, well, you just talked to me about such and such just the other day, and you said you were going to do this then, and the list goes on and on. You can't do it, because it's not helping the situation. It's honestly not. And in our flesh, that is what we're going to want to do. I mean, that's what girl, you just told me about him, and you know what I mean? Why do you keep putting up with this and all this? Nope. You got to love them until they start loving themselves and recognizing who they are and recognizing their worth. And so with that, you've got to provide that positive feedback. You've got to, their self-empowerment is going to take a while. You know what I mean? So that's something else. You have to respect their choices. If they decide they're going to continue to deal with the person, you have to respect that. And when I say it's hard to do and watch, it really is. It really, truly is. So you've got to respect that. Like I said, you can't pressure them. You can't give them a diagnosis. Girl, you got this, or he's got that, or whatever it is. You can't do that. You really can't. You know what I mean? You can recommend things that are positive. Like, oh, maybe you should go talk to somebody. Like, I'll do that. Like, maybe you should go talk to somebody about this. Or, provide those outlets of positive feedback. You know what I mean? It can't come from a place that's going to make them feel worse about themselves, about their decisions. They are already at their lowest, pretty much. They are at their lowest, okay? Don't feel the need to be an expert yourself. Like, when I've talked, I'm trying not to give stuff out, but when I've talked to people, I'm like, maybe you should talk to X, Y, and Z, because I know I don't have all the answers. And that's something, my little disclaimer I didn't do earlier, is I'm not an expert. Like I said, I have been doing research to try to understand some of the situations I've been through. And so I kind of share these things, and I'm trying to get insight on relationships that I'm seeing other people go through. So close to me, not just random people. And so that's how I'm getting this stuff. So I know I'm not an expert. Like, there's people that study this, and they know all the different personality traits, and they know, different strategies to teach people. So therefore, I need to direct you that way. But I can support you in love and out of love. And that's something, like I said, it's not easy. Yeah, so those are a few of the things that we can do just to support. And that's just the abused person. We really need to talk about the abuser, you guys, because many times we're just like I said, we take this, I don't want to say take the side, but we're more empathetic towards the person that's being abused, or, are in an abusive relationship. We are more, we're more empathetic to that. But here's the problem, you guys. You're dealing with two hurt people, two messed up people. Because like I said, when we looked at the characteristics of both, when we looked at the characteristics of the abuser and the abused, what are the chances that an abused person turned into an abuser? They were high. What are the chances that the abuser have been abused or been in an abusive environment? They're high. So it's both people that need help. It's not just the one person. both people are sick in a way. You know what I mean? Like, they're hurting. They've had some things happen to them. They have not developed healthy ways of coping. Neither one. So just like you have the abused person that's narcissistic, controlling, like a dominant personality, manipulative, just like you have that person, guess what you have right next to that person? The person that's a love addict, has a void, has been abused, latches on to anybody that will give them a glimpse of what they think they need. You have that person they are together, like attached. So we've got to look at the whole picture when we're looking at this. It can't just be one-sided, just the abused person. Because like I said, the abused person a lot of times turns into an abuser. Let me tell you, I worked in a residential treatment facility outside of Chicago for a couple years, right? Kids. Okay, when I say kids, I'm talking about on the boy side, I was working with maybe the youngest. Just on the whole campus, they had a cottage that had like 6 and 7 year olds, okay? And then in my unit, we had 9, 10, 11-year-old boys. Can I not tell you guys that these boys have been sexually, all kind of stuff abused, right? And being with other boys, being institutionalized, although, we were trying to help provide services, we're trying to help, with therapy and all that stuff. Like, that was what was provided there at the residential treatment facility. Do you not know that those boys, some of them became abusers and would, like sexually abuse other boys? Now, who's at fault there? Am I supposed to be like, oh, well, let me take the side of the abuser, the abused person? No, it's not about taking sides. It's both people are ill. They're both ill. They both need deliverance. They both need help. They both need, like, they have something on them, both of them. Like I said, I grew up in an abusive environment. I've seen abuse all around in different ways. I got into an abusive relationship. And then, due to calluses and things on me that I built up and walls, I could get with you too. You know what I mean? Like, I could say like I said, vile would come out of my mouth. Like, I could say some crazy stuff. I can get mad in a minute, in a heartbeat, in a pin, like, boom, explosive, like mad. You know what I mean? So, yes, I was in an abused situation, and guess what? Later on down the line, I turned into an abuser. Okay? So we've really got to talk about this stuff. Like, it's important. It's, we just got to talk about it. There is freedom in talking. Because, like I said, that divide and conquer, if I can just isolate them, even the trick of the enemy is to divide and conquer. If he can just get you alone with your thoughts and let you know that you're not good enough. Look what you did. Look what you let that person do to you. How dare you? You're disgusting. All these things are mine. It will get alone enough, isolated, with nobody to say that you are beautifully and wonderfully made and that you have a purpose and that I love your smile. I love your energy. Let you get along with all this other negative stuff with nobody pouring anything positive into you. Yes, Tamara. She said, let's not forget, just because you're not laying hands, you are still abusing. You're absolutely right. That's why at the beginning I talked about the other types of abuse. Because we always get tied up with that, just somebody knocking you down or knocking you out. But no. There's emotional. That emotional and verbal, let me tell you, a lot of times too, if you think about it, if you've ever seen an abusive relationship or whatever, things usually start off with the emotional and verbal, and then it rolls over into the other ones many times. many times. So yeah, you're right, T. The emotional and verbal, the financial. Man, there's so many women wrapped up in the financial. Oh, it makes me upset, and I can't say I can't say that to the person, you know what I mean? Like, why? You know, because that's coming out of my flesh. I just talked about we can't do that. So, but man, so many. Oh, well, he pays my bills and all this. Ah, is he your creator? That's why we want to hit folks with. But I gotta be in the spirit, But really, are they your creator? They created anyway. So you're right, T. It's more than just the physical. It's that verbal and emotional. It's a big one right there. Okay. So, like I said, we gotta talk about it. Both parties need help. It's not just one or the other. Like, I needed help. And I mean, it's taken me, I'm 35. Stuff was popping. For me, a young child, I saw stuff going on. And so it took me all this time. And I remember Tamara being like, Ashante. So Tamara has a story to tell. I can't wait for y'all to hear it, because the testimony, guys, that's one of the reasons why we go through things also. Because, like I said, we got to bring, hey, Arlena, we got to bring other people out of this, right? Similar people. This is the way of making fishermen of men. Okay? That's something like on that spiritual tip. But that's how we're able to do that. Like, you can't go talking to folks about X, Y, and Z. You've never been through X, Y, and Z. They'll be looking at you like you're crazy. But when we go through stuff and we're brought out on the other side, like, y'all, you got to talk about it. You have to. Because you never know. Like, I don't know. I just prayed. I'm like, Lord, like, this was sitting heavy on me because I'm watching everybody starting at my own mama. Starting there. Watching all these relationships that are unhealthy. Then they get with another unhealthy person. Then stuff's exploding all at the end. All this stuff. You know what I mean? Like, I just got to the point, I'm like, and then I'm getting into relationships, like, unhealthy. I'm like, Lord, what is going on? Like, I just got and that stuff's weighed heavy on me. And so, like I was saying, T was like, she was like, Ashante, like, how would you feel, like when you're doing these, videos and you're talking about your father and, things like that, like, does it make you feel any certain kind of way? Or, like, are you afraid it'll get back to your dad and all this? And this is what I told her. I said, my dad knows how he is. Everybody that knows my dad, for real knows him, knows how he is. Anybody that wants to back him or defend him, well, they have no weight with me anyway. So you cannot let stuff stop you from speaking your truth and walking in your purpose and becoming a fisherman of men. I don't know who this is going to touch. I don't know who, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know, but I felt this is what I was led to do. I have to be obedient and I have to do it. I just have to. And I have to trust that the Most High has got my back, and anything that will come out of it, like, he's got it taken care of. I can't even worry about that because I'm healing myself in the process. As long as I sit back, not say anything, let all this stuff fester, because it just sits, like I said, all that stuff makes soul deposits on you. So if you're just sitting there and it just builds up and it's callous and it's icky and gooky, and then you start being icky and gooky, it's just like a bacteria. It just grows and grows and grows and grows, and you never clean it. You never, you know what I mean? No antibacterial, no nothing. You just let it sit there. What do you think is going to happen? And the way to get that stuff out is to talk about it. That's healing for yourself. I mean, it really is. Hey, Breeza. She was one of my students. I tutored years and years ago when I first moved here. Not years and years. I've been in Arizona for 6 years, almost 6 years ago. Hey, she's all grown up now. Yep, you're right, Arlena. He does give you what you need to say. We just got to be obedient. We get afraid, man. Especially, and I understand, like, I'm not knocking people in these relationships. I'm not knocking it at all. I'm not. I'm really referring to once you kind of come out on the other side, once you get that epiphany that, dang, why am I letting this person? And I'm talking about friends too. Why am I letting this person, and then you can fill in the blank, talk to me crazy, hit me upside the head, hold me hostage to finances, whatever it is, take advantage of my body, deposit crazy spiritual stuff that don't have nothing to do with nothing, trying to brainwash me, manipulate me. Go through the whole list. There's a whole, you can plug in whatever. Once that person is able to reflect and say, well, dang, why am I letting them? That's the point I'm talking about. Now, I know it's going to take some work to get to that point. So for me and for you and for whoever else that you're supporting that person, pour life into them. Pour life. Let them know that they're beautiful. Let them know that they were not created to come here and just, like I said, if you're always on the ground, how can you walk in your purpose? So pour into them. Let them know they actually are loved, because those thoughts are going to tell us something different, because they're dealing with people that are showing the opposite of love. And I'm going to have to hit up on love again real quick. I'm going to pull that up. So we can actually understand that true definition. Oh, sorry. So we can actually know the true definition of love. I don't even care if you don't have a Bible. We have Google nowadays, honey. So there's so many ways to get technology. Please Google. And I'm about to pull it up because my Bible is not actually down here. 1 Corinthians. Okay. 13, 4 through 7. Okay? I'm going to pull it up. And I'm going to read it. Because this is something I need for myself. Let me see, Arlena, what'd you say? And it's good for people who've been through and got through. Yes. Yep. Arlena said it's good for people who've been through and got through it to speak on it. Just like I was saying. Because I'm sure that the other people in their lives either want to stay out of it or they just don't know how to advise them. Yep, you're right. You are right. Okay, so let me see what this is. Oh, I feel like this night. It won't be a 45-minute live. Okay, let's talk about love, right? Because I already told you how society has this outlandish view on love, which, I mean, it's ridiculous. It's unrealistic. It's based off of feelings. We know feelings come, feelings go. So you cannot operate out of your feelings because you will be jacked up, because one minute you feel like this and another you feel like that. So we know we cannot do that. All right. So here's what true love is, right? And I said this the last video. And like I said, go look it up, reflect on it, read it every day, because it's something that I am learning to practice. And it's hard. And so when you are dealing with an abuser or you're watching somebody abuse somebody else, we got to operate out of love. Okay. So here it goes. Okay, T, I'm about to read that 1 second. Okay. Here's love. Okay. So love is patient. Okay. And I want whoever, even if you're in an abusive relationship. Okay. So just think about that. If you're in that, even with a friend, is this person being patient? Okay. Love is kind. Is this person being kind? All right. If they're talking to me crazy, hit me upside my head. No. Okay. Think about this. It does not envy. It does not boast. It is not proud. Okay. It does not dishonor others. It is not self-seeking. It is not easily angered. So I want y'all to think about this from each side. The abused, the abuser, and the supportive person. We all have to operate out of love. When you're dealing with these people, it has to be out of love. And then I'm about to hit on what my husband said last time that I talked about my last video. Crazy. Okay. It keeps no records of wrong. It does not delight in evil, but rejoices with the truth. It always protects. It always trusts. It always hopes. It always perseveres. That's what love is. That right there. That right there. That's love. That's true love. That's a love. Love is something, it's not a feeling. Y'all, you have to practice it. Like every day, every second. It's something you have to practice. So when you're dealing with somebody that's in a situation, you've got to practice love with that person. You can't start japping off at them. Girl, why are you doing this? Dude, what's wrong with you? Oh, nope. You can't start popping off at them. You can be angered in love. It's an action. That's right. It's an action. It's something you choose to do. You choose. Even when you don't feel like it. Right? So, that's love for you. And then, let me tell you this. And this is something my husband said, because like I said the last video, I was always taking the position, even talking about this, of, you got to care about yourself enough not to let anybody, abuse you. Like, you have to care about yourself enough, And my husband said, okay, but he said, out of love, if you think about love, and it's not self-seeking, and it's not, it's not selfish, right? Okay, so the words I'm saying, you gotta care about yourself enough. You gotta, So my husband was like, but in love, actually, you have to care and love that person enough to say, you know what you're doing to me is not healthy for you. Therefore, out of love, I can't let you treat me like that because it's not good for you. And I was like, well, what? Like, whoa, you talking about not being selfish. That's some deep love right there, when you can say to a person, your friend, your family member, your whoever, like, I love you so much and I know what you're doing. I know what you're doing is so messed up for you, because it is. We talked about the characteristics of abuser. They're hurt too. They've been jacked up too. They've been in situations too, right? They just have taken a different way of how they let that out. And I'm not taking sides, but both parties have been abused, right? So if you're able to be in the place to be like, you know what you're doing is not healthy for you, and I can't let you do that to me out of love, man, that's some deep stuff right there. That's some love right there. You talking about love? And that's love for the person, and that's love for yourself. So, man, you're right, T. Hurt people. They do. I'm trying to see your other... Okay, this is something, T. I hope y'all don't mind me reading comments. T, you alright with that? T, you alright with me doing that? I'm just gonna read it. Okay. So, Natamra said, I'm guilty of turning the other cheek and backing away from someone going through because I felt helpless. I should have been there for them. Yes, you're right. Yeah. Sometimes we don't know what to say or what to do. You're right. But like I said, we've just got to approach everything out of love. It's got to be, I'm talking about biblical love. You know what I mean? That 1 Corinthians love. That's how we have to address things. And let me tell you what I've been guilty of. I've been guilty of being like, man, what are you doing? Like, why are you letting this person do X, Y, and Z? What are you doing? And me taking it personal. Like, oh, I'm not gonna deal with them if they're gonna keep doing that. That's like, I've done that. Like, oh, I'm just done. But the nature that the Most High has put inside of me, like, I don't be done. I don't. But in my flesh, I was like, I'm done, man. I'm so sick of this. I'm the one going through it. You know what I mean? I mean, but in a way, you do take on that stuff, especially when you really care about folks. T. Yeah, T. I'm sorry. I learned to do better. Yes. I'm doing better. See, I'm learning. See, this stuff's helping me learn. So, guys, I don't know. Anybody else have any more comments? You got me told. Yeah, so just to recap, you guys. Hey, Lynette. Yeah. We just gotta operate our love. We have to understand when we're dealing with abused people and abusers that they are hurt people. They are just hurt people. I love you too, T. They are hurt people. So we've got to see the whole picture. We've got to get off our high horses, our judgmental attitudes that we get. We kind of forget that we've probably been in similar situations, honestly. If we really want to keep it real with ourselves, or we've seen something, or we can get in those situations, you know what I mean? So we just have got to be humble and be level-headed and just be understanding. You can be prayerful, man. Because let me tell you, like I said, that stuff will rub off on you if you get too deep in it. It will. You gotta be prayerful and operate out of love. Be supportive. Be loving. Pour life into people. And you're not gonna be able to do that until you believe that about yourself also. So you guys want to offer support and be supportive. That is good. That's very good. But let me tell you, you also need to be in a healthy space. And I'm not saying you have to have it all together, because nobody does have it all together, and we won't. And there's going to be times, like, people come talk to me, but guess what? I have my moments when I'm just like, oh, Lord, I'm frustrated. I'd be wanting to just, shoot, I'd be wanting to go off the deep end myself. So keep a team, keep a squad around you that's going to support you and love you. Be that to somebody else. Don't take on everything. You know what I mean? Don't take on everything. Have a partner. You know what I mean? Hey, let's go to prayer about this. Hey, let's call so-and-so. Hey, let me speak a word of life into this person. Hey, girl, whatever it is. Don't take that stuff on alone. Don't, because you'll weigh yourself down in a minute. Okay, you guys? So I appreciate everyone that joins. And hopefully, if you just came on, you can just go, and I'm just gonna, once I finish this, it'll pop up on my page, and then I'll share it on my Tidbits for Women page. And next week, this one is gonna get deep. This is gonna be, it's gonna get deep, because I gotta talk about the spiritual aspect of all this stuff, because there's spiritual aspects. Oh, and I wanted to share this quote when I was doing my research today. It says, and this, I'll end with this, you guys, and I'll say a prayer for my aunt. Okay, it says, incredible change happens in your life when you decide to take control of what you do have power over, instead of craving control over what you don't. And Steve Maraboli is the person that quoted that. And I was like, wow. Incredible change happens. This goes along with my quote. The ball is always in your court. The ball is always in your court. The ball is always in my court. We are always in control of how we're going to react to somebody. We are always in control of what's going to spill out of our mouth. We are always in control. Even our minds, even though stuff is going to pop up, because those soul deposits that I talked about, it might be crazy. You are in control of changing that. even with your words. Like, nope, I don't believe that about myself. I do believe that I was beautifully and wonderfully made. I do believe that I have a purpose in life. I do believe that I wasn't created just to be down on the ground. You've got to use those words. Those words have power to change things around. So incredible change happens in your life when you decide to take control of what you do have power over instead of craving control over what you don't. You have the power. You have the control. You have it. So I hope you guys have a blessed night. I'm gonna pray. And join me next week. I'm gonna talk about the spiritual aspects of all this. King Solomon said there's nothing new under the sun. This is all this stuff that's going on, these abuses that we face, the problems that we see, the wars going, all this stuff going on, is nothing new under the sun. Therefore, there's a solution for all that. That means the solution's not going to change either. Being able to function is not going to change if you are in tune with that stuff. Okay? So, thank you, Father, for another day, Lord. Thank you for everyone that joined on to the live video tonight, Lord. I pray that it touched someone. I pray that it encouraged someone. I pray that it poured life into someone. I hope that it allows them to know that they are in control, that ultimately you're in control, but they have that power through you to not be in an abusive relationship, to not be an abuser, to walk in their purpose, to do what they have been created to do. They have that power through you, Lord God. And I pray that people will understand that. I pray that those that are supporting these people will have patience and love and kindness in their heart, Lord God, and that they will be able to endure these trials and tribulations with these people and just go through things out of love, address things out of love, Lord God. I pray that people understand their worth and value and purpose, Lord. And I pray that glory has been brought to your name in all this. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. All right, you guys. I hope you have a blessed night. And I'll see you guys next week. I'm going to touch on the spiritual undertones and aspects of all this. All right. Thank you.